Und damit willkommen zurück zu The Great Ace Attorney Reasons 2 Chronicles, meine Lieben. Wir sind hier quasi so günstig kann. Gehen wir so aufs Ende zu. Mal schauen, was noch so kommen wird. Und wir sagen vom ganzen Spiel. It's gotta be me. There ain't no one else. Quite right. I mean, after all, the boss was, well, he was my boss. Yes, Chini, yes, he was. Dementsprechend, ja. Oh yeah, and I made you a promise and all. Didn't I, Iris? That I became a proper detective one day and track down, yeah, old man. Oh. Alright then, it's decided. I'll do it, and I swear I'll find your dad and burying him in knicking and screaming. I'm not entirely sure that would be appropriate. Yes, I think, Gina, it may be best to, well, I think I'd like you to forget that promise, Ginny. Eh? Iris? Well, obviously I've always wondered about who my real daddy is. Of course I have. I want to know where I've come from. I thought it might tell me something about myself. But I've caused such a lot of trouble trying to find out for so many people. Harry, Bruno, Professor Mickey. Oh no, not at all, my dear. Really, you owe no apology to anyone. Well, anyway, I've decided to give up on it because I've finally realized my daddy is the greatest in the world. I don't think it matters what his name is or where he's from. Don't you agree, Hurley? Also ich bezweifle mal ganz stark, dass man sie ja wirklich gesagt hat, wer eigentlich wirklich ihr Vater ist. Das bezweifle man wirklich, muss man sagen. With every word, Iris. Thank you, Hurley. Thank you, Daddy. Oh boy. I think Mikutoba. Yes, Sholmes. I think that I ought to express my gratitude to you. Oh. For 6 years, you and I solved many a mystery together. And during that time I remember countless expressions of gratitude for our good service. But a moment ago I heard the most pleasing expression of gratitude of them all, and I should never have experienced it were it not for you. You old softy Jones. But I must confess, it's a weight off my mind to hear you to say it. Well then, I think this calls for lengthy violin Rick tell. What do you say? Oh well, the food would go cold, that's the only problem, maybe next week early. Are you sure week is long enough, Iris? Oh boy. Oh boy, muss man mal fairerweise sagen. Das ist schon zu sagen. Even amidst the most dropping of cases, even reeling from the most shocking of revelations, returning in the evening into the suite of rooms, there's always warmth and happiness to be ahead. The home of the world's greatest detective and any home to with my greatest family. 3. November 9:30 p.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. This attic room has been my home and office for almost a year now. I've continually had some forgettable experiences whilst I've lived here, but I think now the time has come. Time to bid this place farewell. Naruhodo? Oh, Professor. Are you alone? I didn't hear any sound from Susato's room. Yes, Susato's son went out after dinner. She shocked, took a carriage. Aber muss das eigentlich jetzt gerade klingen, I guess? So ein Bullshit. Damit rechnet man auch fast gar nicht, muss man sagen. Something about an important matter she needed to take care of. Ah, I see. I wanted to thank you for what you did earlier. Oh, with Iris I mean, when the subject of her father came up, Lord Clint von Six. I made up my mind many years ago never to tell her who her real father was. It's what was agreed with Genshin after all. Clint von Six final wishes before he did. You mean, yes, I've had to take some rather drastic steps to time is protect that secret, you know. Calling Susato back to Japan 6 months ago, for example. That's why. When I read Suzuki-san's report about his final days in London, my head nearly stopped. You stumbled across the crux of the terrible case, the dog's collar. Ach, das war der Vorwahl, I guess? Habe ich schon wieder total vergessen. The description of the base will insignia left me no doubt. Base will. I've you'd decided to investigate that insignia sooner or later would have made two connections to the Von Six, and to make matters worse, Susato knew of the unpublished story as well. The stories that Iris had written based on my notice from the time. Ah yes, the Hound of Baskervilles. Exactly. It was a work of fiction, but based on the crime reality of a hog beast of a dog being used as a murder weapon. A dog with a Baskerville family emblem around its neck. Armed with the two claws. Feared you and Susato mate arrived at the truth. who invented a story about being collapsed to justify her leaving London and returning to Japan at once. All in aid of helping any investigations you and she might have been contemplating. Something I've never understood is why Susaru came across that manuscript in Japan too. Those, you know, Iris, the Hunt of the Baskervilles. Sorry, I mean. Sean sent it to me. That was before Susaru left Japan. He was very troubled about what should be done about it, you see. I'd read it and careless left it on my desk, which is where Susaru came across is, of course, Mann, oh Mann, da muss man mal schon wieder ein bisschen trinken, muss man fairerweise sagen. Sonst ist die Kehle wirklich sehr trocken dafür. Muss man mal fairerweise sagen. It was the only case Jones and I ever proceed that I didn't record that meticulous detail. I was stunned when I discovered that young Iris had pieced together so much of it from paltry notes. Holmes and I discussed the matter and decided that we could not allow the story's publications. At the point I returned the manuscript by post to Shroms for safekeeping. Oh man, oh man. So you did all that to stop Iris from finding out the truth about her brother. Eigentlich muss man ja schon fairerweise mal dazu sagen, sie hätte ja das Recht darauf, muss man sagen, zu wissen, wer ihr leiblicher Vater eigentlich ist, muss man sagen, aber sagen wir das mal so, wie es ist, muss man sagen. So sagen wir es mal so, wie es ist. That's right, because Sean said, told me how astute she'd became. However, having witnessed events in court today, I must say my opinion has somewhat shifted. Oh. I think at some point in the future, the time will come for Iris to know the truth. And when it does, well, I believe it will be for the best. I think so too. Oh boy, actually, Professor, I wanted to talk about something too. Geht es dann jetzt über Kasuma oder über wen soll es jetzt noch gehen? Yuching from that expression, I'd say you have come to a decision, have you? Yes, I have. I will be returning with you to Japan. Are you quite sure? I'm really only here as a substitute for Kasuma, but he's here in Britain now as original intendant. Local student Naruhodo doesn't really have a right to stay, I think. Yep, okay. I see. Looking back now, when I first arrived here in February, My becoming a lawyer just seemed to be the way things turned out. Ach, das wird Kazuma Susato-san and Mr. Schultz are gently pushing me in that direction. Oh. I spent best part of a year immersed in this world, but always aware of a seed of doubt inside me. Until today, standing in that courtroom earlier, all doubts vanished from my mind. I was totally focused. I was sure of my belief in my client, and I was sure would see the trial through. And at the end of it, I finally realized no one else chose this path for me. I chose it myself. Oh boy. Path of a defense lawyer, eh? Yes, that's what I am now. That's what I'll be going back with you to Japan as. And that's the path I'll be following for the rest of my life. Well, it's something like you made quite a resolution there. I have. Very well then, I must say, it's extremely welcome news. I shall make arrangements for your return first thing tomorrow, but I don't imagine will depart for a few days. Not with the symposium having been cancelled now. Such a shame. Never mind. I'm sure there will be other opportunities in the future. Well, then I'll bid you good night. Oh, Susato hat das wahrscheinlich mitbekommen, I guess. Susato-san. I just wanted to let you know I'm back. Did you hear what your father and I were discussing? I'm sorry I did, yes, I couldn't help but... Oh, how much did you hear? Well... From the part about Iris' real father, I think. No, that was from the beginning. So you have made up your mind. You'll return to Japan and continue work as a defense lawyer. Oh yes. I'm sorry, I really should have consulted you about it. Entschuldigt. I did want to earlier this evening actually. Entschuldigt euch dafür, but you had already gone out. Oh no, that's quite alright. I already knew that it's what you'd decide, Naruto-san. Mann, oh Mann, ich komme teilweise mit dem Aussprechen vom Gelesenen nicht hinterher, so schnell kriege ich teilweise schon. You did. Susato-san, I suppose this means it has to be farewell soon. I suppose. You will be a great help to Kazuma going forward. I mean, I know he's a brilliant lawyer, but he's new to the British courtroom. He'll certainly benefit greatly having a brilliant judicial assistant at his side. I'll do my very best. I wish I could say it, but I just can't. I can't ask her to come with me after all. She was always supposed to be coming to pretend as Kazuma's assistant. It's growing late. We should both try to get sleep. I'm sure you must be exhausted after today. Oh yes, you're right. Before I return, let me just say one more time. You really were quite splendid in court today. So if you ask me, anyone who thinks of you as a substitute or a local should be ashamed of themselves. Susato-san. Thank you. Der 7. November, 5:42 Uhr, Port of Dover, Quayside. I can't believe this day finally came. You are really leaving then, Runo? I'm afraid so, Iris. Thank you so much for everything. I don't know what I'll do without your wonderful cooking and delicious tea. Oh, I wish you weren't going, but you have to come back and visit. Say you will. Of course, I promise. Well, it was a very brief reunion, but it was a pleasure to pursue a case with you again after so long. For a while at least it felt like old times. Yes, I suppose on reflection, there's something to be said for it's having a little fun once in a while. I'll just go and say goodbye to Professor as well, I think. Alright, Iris, you do that.
Susato-san.
I've just checked, Naruhodo-san. Your luggage is already on board. Such a beautiful morning. Perfect for embarking on a journey, isn't it?
Before I set off, I'd just like to say how thankful I am for everything you've done for me. And give my warmest regards to Kazuma, please.
Actually, I think you ought to give him your regards in person, don't you?
Sorry?
Ryunosuke.
Kazuma! What are you doing here?
Do you really think I'd miss my best friend's departure?
Thanks. To be honest, I'd been looking forward to our wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's capital, but,
Well, we'll have to save that for another time. Personally, I'm looking forward to facing you in court again.
Me too. But, we're both defense lawyers, so,
I'm going to become a prosecutor. I'll stay in Lord Van Zeek's tutelage for the time being, but before long, I intend to be just as formidable as the Reaper himself.
Oh, I see.
Actually, Ryunosuke, I have a favor to ask.
Name it.
I'd like you to take care of this for me for a while.
Karuma? Why?
Because I've seen it now. I've seen what's inside me. The demon that reared its ugly head that day. It was only for the briefest of moments. The last time I came face to face with that inspector, but it was unmistakable. I wanted to kill him. I've always known there are demons that live inside people. And now I know there is one in me. The fact that it very nearly consumed me is something I'll carry with me until the end of my days, while I devote my life to fighting those whose demons have got the better of them. As a prosecutor.
So, that's what you've resolved to do, is it?
Until I'm ready to face the demon within me, to slay it once and for all. I leave this in your care, if you'll take it.
Of course I will. I'll keep it by my side, always. Until we meet again, then. You have your path to follow, and I have mine.
Naruhodo-san? The path you're going to follow from now on, I wonder if I might follow it at your side, and unless I'd be a burden.
What? I mean, I would very much like you to come with me. But aren't you...
You're so predictable, Ryunosuke.
I am?
Honestly, you never change at all. But that's what I like about you.
You mean you knew about this?
It was the evening after Lord Van Zeek's trial came to an end. She came to see me at the prosecutor's office.
Really? Oh, when I had that conversation with Professor Mikotoba.
So, you'd go with Ryunosuke back to Japan?
Yes. I know it's unfair of me to follow my own interests like this.
Coming here especially to tell me. You're a stickler for etiquette, aren't you? Well, what are his feelings?
We've never discussed it, of course, and Naruhodo-san has made no such suggestion. I worry that perhaps I'd be a burden to him.
He's just as much of a stickler for etiquette as you are. He'd never say anything before he was asked. But I'd feel happy knowing you were with him. Look out for him on my behalf, will you?
Of course.
Susato-san.
What do you think, Naruhodo-san?
With you by my side, no trial would seem too daunting. So if you're willing, I'd be honored if you'd come with me. Together we can take on the world.
I'm terribly incompetent, but if you'll have me, I'd be delighted.
Oh, no, not at all. If anyone's terribly incompetent, it's me. Ah!
What's wrong?
Your luggage, Susato-san. There's no time. The ship's going to set sail any minute now.
It's all right. There's no need to worry. As it happens, my luggage is already on board too.
It is?
Your fine judicial assistant has everything in hand as always, I see.
Bruno! Your ship's about to leave!
Time to go then. Look after yourself, Ryunosuke.
Kazuma, draw your sword. One day, when our paths cross, once more, we'll fight a duel of words across the courtroom. A day I eagerly await as a lawyer.
I've been waiting to hear you say that, partner.
Don't forget me then, Kazuma.
As if I could, Ryunosuke.
And Mr. Sholmes, thank you so much. I'm very much indebted to you.
Indeed, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe you are.
I'll never forget all you've done for me during my time in London.
Quite. I should like to think you will remember your debt of gratitude. Especially when I visit you in your country. What? The truth is, although many are ignorant of the fact, the world is far smaller than most folk realize.
Well, I'd be delighted if you came to Japan one day.
Oh yes, would welcome you with open arms, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, that sounds wonderful! I can't wait!
In that case, let us conclude that this is to be merely a brief parting, my dear fellows.
And that brings us to the end of my adventures in Great Britain. A peculiar twist of fate brought me halfway around the world those many months ago. But that was just the start of my journey. Who knows where fate will lead me next? Still, I'm confident this won't be my last meeting with the friends I've made in London. And when we're together again, no doubt the first words I'll hear will be,
Come, the game is afoot.
The ship, with our friends from the east, sailed steadily towards the distant horizon. But Sholmes's face was alight with joy. The times may change, but a steadfast friendship will remain true, Wilson. We have but to gently close our eyes, and we are with our companions once more.
So, I do just that. And when I do, I can hear his strong, familiar voice ring out.
Objection!
Until we meet again, Runo.
Und damit wäre es geschafft, diese beiden Spiele, was ich angefangen habe. Bin ich froh, dass ich es gespielt habe. Das auf jeden Fall, meine Lieben. Muss mal fairerweise sagen, oh Gott, echt. Sagen wir es mal so, wie es ist. Ich habe es dann einfach mal auf Autoplay gestellt, automatisch, weil wenn die schon sprechen, dann sollten sie auch unabhängig von mir jetzt das dann machen, muss ich fairerweise sagen. Ich bin wirklich baff von diesem Spiel, das muss ich mal fairerweise sagen. Muss ich mal fairerweise wirklich sagen. 145 Parts. Oh. Geil, muss ich sagen. Und mir so ein langlaufendes Let's Play, muss man sagen, echt, ey. Oh, aber ey. Das ist wirklich geil geworden, muss ich sagen, ey. Ja gut, es gab vielleicht da oder das ein oder andere Patzer, muss man sagen. War fairerweise, würde ich sagen, aber trotzdem ein Spiel, das ich wirklich weiterempfehlen kann, auch wenn es auf Englisch ist. Ich wünschte mir vielleicht an mancherlei Stelle, dass es dann doch schon mal auf Twitch wäre. Allein schon wegen des Verständnisses, muss man mal fairerweise sagen. Aber man muss dann mal fairerweise sagen, okay, ist halt jetzt mal so. Kann man halt nichts machen, aber ich fand es trotzdem geil. Kann man sagen, was man will. Muss man sagen. Ich bin einfach paff. Ich weiß jetzt auch gerade gar nicht, was ich da zum Schluss einfach sagen soll. Ist einfach überwältigend. Mir hat auch so die Credits einfach dazu mal Revue passieren lassen, dass das einfach was alles passiert ist, echt, ey. Oh Gott, echt, ey. Ja. Einfach unglaublich, muss ich sagen. Dementsprechend. Ich kann es noch weiterempfehlen. Ich entlasse euch dann auch gut und gerne jetzt mit den restlichen Credits gar, die es hier jetzt gar kommen. Ja. In den wohlverdienten Feierabend für dieses Let's Play, muss man sagen. Dementsprechend. Man hört und sieht sich in einem anderen Let's Play und was auch immer das sein wird. Ich werde die Tage jedenfalls noch Pokémon aufnehmen, damit ich weiß, mit was ich durchstarten kann. Dementsprechend bis zum nächsten Let's Play und macht es gut. Auf Wiedersehen, meine Lieben.